rather than get everybody stuck in a bad trade, my feeling was let me show you how to trade two instruments at once, since there's so many new people here. This is a way to test two instruments at once to see if there's any activity with either of the instruments. It gives you an idea of whether or not it's going to be worthwhile to trade this trade in the future. So the first thing I want you to know is the instruments that you would look to trade this type of trade. This is Empire State that we're looking at. My news I'm going to have open on a different screen because it won't fit on my trading screen. So I would assume many people do have two monitors. If you don't, you need a way to have the news. The news is critical. Okay, you want to have the news open somewhere. So if you have to have it behind your trading screen, if you only have one monitor, if you're on a laptop, I still think you want to have it open somewhere so that you could look at it reasonably quickly after the trade results should have been released. So you have an idea, how you might want to handle the trade. You might have been filled, something might have happened. You want to have a rough idea, what the news results are. Okay. So as a rule, this is a trade that we don't normally trade to begin with. It's one of my trades. And like I said, I had the trade room because I wanted to just keep people engaged and show you something different that I've never shown a lot of the new people before. So you do the same things you normally do, but I have a different workspace that I use when I'm testing multiple instruments. And you can trade two different instruments at the same time. I'm not saying I recommend it. I recommend it for testing. If you can record it, that's the key. The key is to record it because it's impossible, almost impossible, to keep track of the trade, as you'll see. If both of them fill and they don't take you out of the trade real quick, it could be very confusing, and it could just be so difficult to handle, you might not know what to do. Ted, you can't get your Ninja to start? Reboot your whole computer, Ted. Just on the out, there's been a lot of weird Windows updates going around. Maybe something happened that you didn't realize. I would reboot your whole computer. The other thing, Ted, is it may have started already. So check your taskbar. Do a control alternate delete. Do a control alternate delete if you can't see your Ninja. And then look in processes and see if you could see it running and close it. Do you know what I mean, Ted? Okay. All right. You know more as much as me. Aspen, good morning. So, Aspen, I'm testing two indexes. I'm not trading this live because the test results on this particular trade were not very good. They were not very good at all. That doesn't mean it's not going to work, okay? It doesn't mean it's not going to work. I mean, but the last four of them, only one worked. The rest stuck in a trade. If you were unbelievably fast, maybe one of them might have let you get a couple of ticks at a gold. And because I never really looked at the yen extensively on this trade, my gut feeling is, look, it's not necessary to lose money because you haven't tested something. The thing to do is to sit back, relax, chill, and just say to yourself, okay, maybe I should have tested the yen on this trade. I didn't, so I'm not going to throw my money at it without knowing what the results might be on a regular basis. So the yen is going to be one of the things I'm going to test. Bonds I tested. Bonds did nothing on this trade. So there's no point in trading bonds. So there's two different setups that you're looking to do. So my first setup will be the yen. So I have two little charts where I'm going to control my strategy entry. Yeah, I wouldn't live Aspen. It might work, but it's just not a powerful trade. Okay, I mean, if you're going to trade your first trade ever, pick a really really good one. I mean, that's my advice. Not a marginal trade that we don't even have a HIRA for. You know what I mean? If it was a marginal trade, when I say marginal, sometimes we don't have a HIRA, but the trades are good. There's a couple I can think of. And in fact, I had a big conversation with Jay. A couple of those we're going to wind up probably putting HIRAs on them. So, and like I said, you could all get mad at me if it works. It could work. Just because your back testing shows that it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not going to work today. It's possible it could work. So, but it just hasn't been over the years. We're not just talking over 2 months. We're talking over a long period of time. This hasn't been a very good trading report. So the way that I'd set it up is the yen, which is on this. You have two little charts for adjusting your strategy and two big charts for trading. Okay. Do your normal right click. You just have to do everything the exact way you do it normally. You just have to do it twice. So the yen, I would do a bracket of 5 because the yen is only 6 1/4 a tick. Entry time is 829.57. And because the yen is so small in terms of its ticks, and because if anything is going to happen, you might hit your first target, have an extra contract on target 1 so that if you do get filled, at least you'll make more than $8 with the yen. And then I'm looking for 3 ticks. And because I'm trading 2 instruments, I'll go very small on my targets. I'll go 8 on my second target for the yen. So I'm doing 3 and 8. I'm doing a stop of 9. And my target 1 stop move is break even -2. What that means is my stop, if my first target is hit, will move to break even -2 automatically. My stop will. Then you have to enable the trade. True. Make sure your time is right. Apply it. Okay. And then make sure your logo shows up on your little chart, your icon. Okay. The icon is the key that tells you that the strategy is going to fire, that the strategy is going to work. Okay. Then the second index that I'm going to trade, as I've always tested this on gold. On gold, it really has not been working well. So you go to strategies, you do the same exact thing that you always do. Breakouts. I started early because I knew I was going to be a minute or 2 late. Bracket of 4. 829.57 is my time. And then gold, I do the same thing. I do 2 contracts on my first position, 1 contract on my second. My first target is 3, my second is 8, and my stop is 8. Okay, and I'm going to move my stop to break even -2 if I get filled. And then you have to make sure it's true. Okay. So check your time. We go to time.is to check our time. Gold's a little volatile this morning, testing the low. There was trying to look to see if there was any news that I saw. Somebody told me that some financial news. I'm not seeing a real reason right at this second for the volatility in gold, other than the fact that it could just be testing the 200 right there. It's 200 moving average. Let's see if it breaks through. It broke through it. Yes, Aspen. I want to actually have a. There's videos on that, Aspen. That's why I didn't understand your email. I sent you videos that they step you through it. Are you saying that the videos I sent you don't show you how to do that? And if you don't want to rely on me, if you just go to Ninja, if you just go to Google and type in Ninja Replay, they have a video on how to use Replay that's like 5 minutes long. It's really easy, so you could do it yourself for real. I'm not trying to pass the buck. I'm just telling you that the info's out there. It's very easy. But are you saying that the videos I sent you did not have the test info? That's what I wanted to ask you. So you could see it's harder. It's harder to trade two instruments at once, because if you get filled on both of them, it's almost impossible to manage the trades. We're just doing this to test and see how they respond to the news. We're not looking necessarily for powerful profits. We're looking to see how the indexes move. And Aspen, I can show you that before we leave. It's real easy. I'll show you. If you stick around, I'll show you how to do a quick test on Ninja. It's easy. How to test for a trade. So normally when you have this kind of movement, the odds are good something's going to happen during this trade, in my opinion. But it doesn't change the fact that all of my testing was bad, so or not good, most of it. So I still stick with my plan. My plan was, when I woke up, when I tested last night, my plan was to test today because of the poor results. So I'm going to stick with it, okay? Just because I see gold being a little bit extra volatile, which might make me think, hey, maybe it's going to move during the trade. Maybe it won't also. But the only point I'm making is I had a plan and I'm going to stick with it. It might be the wrong plan. There's no guarantee my plans are always right. Good morning, Arthur. Hope you're feeling better. There's no guarantee that my plan is always right. It's not. I mean, I've shown that. People make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But the point I'm doing here is I'm just trying to show, trying to look for an index that this trade might be really good on. And because it hasn't been good on gold when I tested it. Today it looks like it's going to really be good. Time.is, we're going to check our time. Check our time. I go to time.is. My time is good. Okay. So I do the same things all the time. Time.is, my time is exact. I'm a boring person. I do the same things all the time when I trade, which I think is good. They're expecting 18 on the forecast for Empire State. Arthur, I'm trading two indexes. That's why you're not going to see the news. I have it off to the side. So, and I'm not trading live, I'm just testing because this report hasn't been testing well. So I want to see if it does anything. Using the standard JOBB, what I would use. So again, there's no HIRA. This was my trade. If I'm exceptionally careful if I bring people into the trade room on my trade, because I don't want you to lose money on something that doesn't work, that we don't have a HIRA for. It could happen. It happened the other night. So the yen strategy that I've set up is a bracket of 5, an entry time of 8:29.57, 2 contracts on my first position, 1 contract on my second position, profit target of 3 and 8, a stop of 9, and then my stop is going to move to break even -2 if my first target is hit. That's my yen setup. My gold setup, I right click the chart, click on strategies, stretch out, highlight the strategy so you see your choices, and my gold setup, 4-tick bracket. And by the way, I'd give this 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, to cancel. This is a data trade and you should get filled fast on it. And in fact, that's one of the problems in my testing. You got filled fast and then it didn't move. That was the big problem with this trade. Gold, I used the 4-tick bracket, 8:29.57, 2 contracts just for 3 ticks, 1 contract for 8 ticks, stop of 8, and I moved my stop to break even -2. It's almost the same as the yen trade. And again, I'm just testing because in my testing, the results just didn't look good on this trade. They just didn't look good on this trade. Andre, I don't even look at the 4:30 trades usually. It's so early in the morning, I didn't look at it yet. Don't you have them saved, Ted, the workspaces? So unfortunately tomorrow there is a HIRA at 10 in the morning and I have a doctor's appointment. It's not on the schedule as a trade room. It's also Canada's bank statement. Be very, very careful if you trade that trade. Canada's bank statement is crazy. It's a crazy trade in terms of the volatility. And it's a trap trade. Okay? It is a trap trade. So we have 5 minutes. Of course today this will work perfectly because we're just testing it. Right, Alex? Albert? Is Albert here? No, Albert's not here this morning. So many times when I've tested trades, they've worked perfectly. But Brian, I think you've done in the past some testing on this trade and it's been miserable. And look, it could work today. It's the life we lead as news traders. Sometimes you choose to test to protect yourself, and sometimes you leave money on the table, and that's life. You can't cry over it. You can't worry about it. You just deal with it. Okay? It's just one of those things. It goes with the territory. And then if I'll remember I have I'm making a recording of this so we could watch it back immediately to see what it does. It'll just take a second to render the recording. It doesn't take very long. So at 829.57, you'll see brackets on both charts. Okay? I'll probably concentrate on my gold chart because it's more valuable, but I think the yen, I don't know what's going to move better. I honestly don't know what's going to move better. Stephen, do you have any time to talk today, Stephen N? Okay. I probably didn't write down your number, so I'll email you first anyway. Well, Aspen 6J doesn't look that bad to me. It went down and just, it's doing what gold's doing, which is what it normally does. Went down and retraced. Went down and retraced. Doesn't look bad. Nothing scary looking about it. Okay, Stephen, I'm setting my charts up. Probably have them set up finally today. Are you using it now? I'm just curious. I'll leave you alone. It's too close to the trade. So we've got a minute and a half. And again, I would cancel in 10 seconds. So the cancel is you go up to enabled, bing, bing. Click the check marks quick. So I'll hang around up there. But again, I have seen that most of the testing on this report is it fills fast and sits. Fills fast and sits. But it's going to also depend on the news result. They're expecting 18. The previous was 18. So it's 8:30, 30 seconds. 8:29 and 30 seconds, not 8:30. And I'll give it 10 seconds. Gold's at the bottom, yen's at the top. GC 6J. Small brackets.
Order pending.
17.70, almost matching news, which is the worst possible thing. 10 seconds. I would cancel the trade. Now let's let it run for 30 seconds. I would be canceled, but the news is almost matching. 1770 versus 1800. And that may very well be the problem with this trade. It's 20 seconds. We would have absolutely canceled this trade. Absolutely would have canceled the trade.
Order pending.
So gold filled at 34 seconds, okay? It filled at 34 seconds, which means it moved 4 ticks and a tick. But it's sim, so it probably, you know, you're probably not even positive now. But the yen is a cancel. It's not doing anything.
Order canceled.
So you have a gold trade to manage if you let it go 30 whatever seconds. and I wanted to see the entry more than anything. So I'm going to, I'll let my recording go for a minute. But see what I'm saying is this is what happened to me on every single trade. It would fill and no follow through. Fill, no follow through, except for maybe one. So a 20% success rate is not acceptable, okay? Not acceptable for me to bring into the room to trade real money. So I hope nobody traded real money. I told you not to. And you could see we're well over a minute into the trade and gold's done nothing. In fact, it's hurting you. Okay, I'm going to render